Is this supposed to be Hawaiian?
No, I don't think Hawaiian. It's just it's chill. Like, if you walked into a bar that had this going, I'd be like, I'm going to be spending the night here.
Yeah.
Just loading up Drew's stories here.
Yep, and I'm making sure the face space, the page tubes are working. I don't see us on the face tubes. Don't see us on the face tubes. Are we on the?
We're on the Twitcher.
We're on the Twitchers. All right, that's good. All right. Face tubes.
Hey, thank you for loving the squirrel. I put some time in. I wanted it to be extra special. I wanted it to be Fark based. This is the squirrel from.
Seen it yet?
The squirrel from the Fark Photoshop contest. So this is my official entry right here. Let me just I'll take a screen grab.
Do it.
My S is really got a S thing going on here.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see us on the face tubes, but screw it. I mean, I'm unconcerned about that all around.
De-esser, you're not working. I don't know. What? That song doesn't go on repeat? That's just bull.
I was going to say, I was expecting that to go forever.
Yeah,
we actually used it up.
All right. We're now looped. We're now looped.
All right.
And
very good. I don't know about you. I've been looped for a while.
Yes.
That's all I got. Yeah, I don't think we're streaming on face tubes, but we could just skip it because whatever.
Have you ever eaten squirrel, Drew?
No, not that I know of. But I was I went to a restaurant in St. Petersburg, Russia one time, and they had a list of meat that you could get on your sandwich, and it said it had pork, cow, chicken, lamb, and meat.
And meat?
We're like, so what's the meat? And they're like, it's meat. They were like, yeah, but you've eliminated pork, cow, chicken, and lamb. Like, what is it? And they go, it's meat.
It's whatever we say it is.
I feel like I don't want a real answer to this question, so I'm okay with this this holding back stuff that they're doing.
When I lived in Tennessee, the one thing I wanted to eat, come out of Tennessee having eaten, was possum. And then I saw possum, and I was like, holy cow, that's gross.
Yeah, I feel like the fact that it's not, I mean, if it really tasted good, people would eat it all the time, I assume.
You would think so.
Yeah.
That esser doesn't work. Male. That's doing jack nothing. All right. But I would say this: I would eat squirrel. I was noticing I was on Nat's Facebook page the other day. Nat's is a local, I call the best Thai food in Lexington.
Oh yeah, totally. It's the best. It's amazing.
And he had he whenever he goes out shopping, he also takes photos of the food to share. And he had rabbits. He had rabbits in there, and I was like, I've eaten rabbit, I've cooked rabbit, and I thought it was I mean, it's chicken. It's chicken. Yeah. It's a long chicken.
As far as you know, anyway. Yeah, I had so I can't eat it. It's just
You came in and out there, but
excellent. Yeah, I said I had a pet rabbit when I was a kid, so I can't eat them.
Oh, well, what you need is mean rabbit, which is what I had.
I would eat a mean rabbit. I would totally eat that.
My rabbit's name was Satan.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he was evil. And yes, that's the one I got my animal husbandry scout merit badge from.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
They made you kill it with your bare hands?
Yeah, that's part of it.
Nice, man. The scouts are dark.
They're very dark. And then skinning it, I hung it up in my garage and skinned it. And then I cooked it all up, all this food, and I sat my family down. Now, my family's Idaho poor. Poor. I bring this food, like manna from heaven, and nobody ate it. I'm the only one who ate it. Nobody wanted to eat Satan that night. My brother has an a degree in animal husbandry from
That's
Gratefully Alive. That's amazing.
I mean, you can officially marry animals to each other?
Absolutely.
That's what it ought to be.
Hope everyone's doing well tonight. We're just letting things. We're getting warmed up here, and that's what the music is. It's a very nice welcome to our lounge, and we're gonna take another one around here.
Yeah.
It shouldn't end like that. It should loop, just loop. And we're back on. Hope everyone's had a nice day. It's a Thursday. I'm taking off tomorrow. It is. Did you freeze? You did freeze a little. Next,
a little bit.
Tomorrow is my anniversary, so I thought I'd take it off. Can't really do anything about it in this
congratulations
Corona world. 23 years. 23. Isn't that insane?
Nice. Yep.
What are you at, Drew?
That's what therapy gets you.
Yeah. You know what?
Yeah, without that, you don't make it. When the hell we get married? God, I can't remember. The good news is my wife can't remember either, so I'm not in trouble.
No,
it's going to be 23 for us too, actually, come to think of it.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely takes therapy to get to that level.
Yeah, totally. Nobody makes you don't even make it to 10 without the therapy. That's how it goes. I was talking to a couple of friends of mine about that, and they were like, we think we should get therapy, but we're a little worried about it. And I'm like, therapy is like changing the oil in your car. If you don't do it, the whole thing locks up.
Oh, absolutely. Just go in. Go in. It's... I remember coming out of like some of those times, and it was just like, holy cow, this was definitely the right move to make.
Yeah.
Worth the money.
Totally. I do like how the first question is essentially, do you guys still want to stay married? And it takes them like 3 sessions to get around to that.
If I was a therapist, part of mine would be like just pointing out like, do you realize all your faults? You're not going to find success somewhere else. That is not going to happen.
Exactly.
Yes, I did get married on May Day, May 1st. Yes. Our anniversary is May 1st. My birthday is May 3rd, and Natalie's birthday is May 5th. And then we have 2 kids in May as well.
Don't you have a kid that has a birthday then?
2. 2 of them are in May, and then May 11th, May 15th. And then, of course, there's Mother's Day. It's a rough month.
Then Memorial Day to finish things off, usually.
So here's what I bought my wife to kind of lump all this in. A carpet cleaner.
A rabbit.
A carpet cleaner.
That's good, too. I was hoping for an angry rabbit, but that you could eat later.
I could do that. Hope everyone's having a good one. We have news stories today. Drew, what was today like? We've got an iffy connection with Drew tonight.
Yeah, man. This is like... Connections are going nuts. Let me text the kids to get off freaking Netflix. Hold on.
Hopefully they. I'll check and make sure it's not me either. But
I think it's me. I don't know. Here, I'll get Heather to lay down the law up there. Get off the Netflix, you damn kids. Go outside and play with rocks.
I'm really excited for you to get your fiber someday.
Yeah, I gotta do that because it makes for a healthy colon.
It does.
Oh, we're talking about internet. Yeah. That's available in my neighborhood, supposedly.
Oh, yes. That's why it should be entirely over ham radio. My dad was a ham radio dude. N7DUG out of Idaho.
Nice.
Back in the day, we would go camping for scouts, and he would be able to call in and call parents from the woods. It was the weirdest thing. It was pretty cool.
Oh man, that's like crazy black magic in 1980s.
Weird voodoo.
Yeah,
and then you'd get that ham radio and you just turn it, like especially at night, and you would just hear it was amazing. It was amazing.
All you could hear was the noise of the potatoes.
That's usually what you hear late at night. You hear the
Hey, I got an Idaho question for you. I noticed in Iowa they're really, really angry because everybody keeps calling them Ohio. And apparently sometimes Idaho, does Idaho get called Iowa?
Absolutely.
Or Ohio?
Yeah, if somebody's from the East Coast and you tell them Idaho, they think Iowa instantly.
Oh, so they go corn and you're like, no, potatoes.
They're like, what are they the same place? They assume they are.
They might as well be.
Pretty close. Yeah, you're not here, so you suck. Idaho's a great place.
Yeah.
Idaho has nothing in the middle but mountains. Nothing.
Yeah. I've never been. I drove through it once. Parts of it. I don't know. I was drunk. I wonder how angry Ohio's got to get though, because if they used to be something, I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
The 19th century, everybody knew where Ohio was. The 20th century, it's like, what happened? Where'd it go?
Yeah, it's a great country. Where are people from? I'm very curious. For those in the comments, where are you all from? Where are we at? I guess in the country. It could be anywhere in the world.
Yeah, probably a lot of East Coasters because the West Coast isn't off yet. On the other hand, 25% of you on average don't have a job, so maybe the hours don't matter anymore.
We do have a ham radio operator here. K1FOG. Nice.
That's a good call sign.
I would sit down in my dad's ham radio room, and he also had the Morse code because you had to do that, know that as well. I think that's part of the test. And I learned how to swear with it. Oh,
good. That's me. Same thing with me, but it was on a speak and spell. Okay.
See who knows what this is? Beep 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 beep. Anyone know what that is? Beep 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 beep. Yeah, that was me. Everyone's like, "What the hell is this
was that ass?
Show about?" It was ass. It was 3.
Oh, good.
It was 3. Yes.
Nice.
You did very well.
I'm good with patterns. I'm like, what swear word has the same 2 letters in it back to back?
Definitely. It does stick in your mind.
Yeah.
But I remember that. Plus, he had a TRS-80 that was set up in his station.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
I had one of those. We used to call that the Trash 80.
I've seen it I'm very close to buying one on eBay just so I can have it sit by me and just give me that nostalgic memories of playing Space Invaders.
You get an emulator, though. That's cheaper. Just download it.
No, you got to have the actual thing.
I agree, but like the actual thing is expensive, and then you spend a lot of money, and now you got a computer that still sucks.
Oh, now this is something I've never heard. Valnut65 says your dad was awesome. He was interesting. He is interesting. He is a character for sure.
There you go.
Character for sure. The Trash 80. Yeah. Well, I love this sucker. Well, man, how you doing? You ready for some news?
Yeah, let's do it. We don't have as much as we had the other day because the news cycle calmed down a little bit, which is good. But I still got a bunch of stuff.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
And we're only have to do it once this time because you can hear it.
I can hear it now, yeah.
Here we are. What do we have? Oh, not mortgage rates. We've got this one from Trevor Bedford.
Yeah, so this is the epidemiologist that I like the best because he only tweets out like every 4 days or so. This is the guy that put together that open source genome project out in Washington State. He's really fun to read because he doesn't say much, but when he does, it's packed. And he went on a thread about an hour ago, and I didn't have any really good Corona stuff, which is a good news and bad news.
Great.
But it's interesting to see what he's thinking about. And basically what he's saying is that he doesn't think we're going to get a second wave. He just says we're going to not come off of the first one, which is neither good nor bad. It just means that it's going to kind of maintain.
You know, he does. I could kind of see that because when you look at South Korea, who's been heralded as great, it's just this. It's constant. Yeah,
exactly. And I think either he posted something about that or somebody responded to him and basically showed the same thing. He's like, I think it's not going to dive down, but he had some interesting points in this thread. One of them was we talked yesterday about how Germany was down to a transmission rate of 0.75. You want to stay under 1 because then as long as you're under 1, you're diminishing. And they rose back up to a 0.96, and they have to close down if they hit a 1 again. He says the entire United States averaged across everywhere, which I don't know that that's a valid stat because that's like one of my business school professors used to say, you know what the average of hot tea and iced tea is? Warm tea. Nobody wants warm tea. So I don't know what the average across the United States gives us, but he says it's around 1. And I was like, is it? That's really fascinating. But the problem is that at some places like we were looking at Lexington yesterday, for example, our rate of transmission is doubling every 4 months, which is amazing. And then Tennessee is a complete disaster. So, I don't know what the average gets is, but I didn't realize that it was that close to 1. So that means that things are working. We just need to not spike that sucker back up. He's got a couple interesting graphs in there too. If you go down to
great graphs, if I was just rating on his visuals, they're very pleasing to the eye.
Yeah, that's what I like. He doesn't say anything about citation. In particular, I think it's his 4th slide there where he's got Michigan versus Virginia.
Oh yeah. Here we are, Michigan, Virginia.
Yeah, so that's basically the way things have been running so far based off of his data. And what it shows is it's kind of like it's going to level out right at the same spot, basically, is what he's got there. It's kind of neat.
Wait, what's this wave? Is that saying it's getting knocked down right here?
Which one? I got a
Michigan.
delay here.
So Michigan,
so Michigan's coming down. Virginia's ramping up. But what he's saying is they're both going to plateau around the same spot.
And Michigan had the governor that the constituents do not like.
No, Michigan they like. She's the one that was telling Trump to shove it up his
Wait,
butt.
I thought she was the one who really clamped down. Maybe maybe I'm.
Oh no! So interesting. Michigan used that I didn't pull out today. They did have some protests today where a bunch of dudes that are totally not afraid of people came in wearing body armor and with assault rifles because I guess lobbyists allow them to do that. And I mean, they just stood there and looked menacingly over the balcony during a session.
It's gotta feel awesome though. Guys. Now, to be fair, you and I need to put body armor on, get a weapon, and go downtown and see how it feels. Maybe it feels awesome.
I don't know.
I'm thinking it feels
shot. I mean,
I think it feels
people don't usually
awesome.
get shot by the cops, but it only takes once, and that's my problem. It's like the same reason I don't want to do skydiving. I'm sure it's great, but screw that up once and you're hosed.
I went to the same one. All right, KFC reopens for delivery in Broadstairs, sparking huge queues and police response.
Yeah, so if you can't tell by the vocabulary, this is England, obviously. But I put this up for an interesting reason. I mean, first of all, it's very British because, man, the British love KFC about as much as the Chinese do. It is crazy.
That is insane. I hear also, fun fact, for Thanksgiving or whatever they have in Japan, KFC.
It's Christmas.
KFC is what they do.
It's Christmas. They have KFC for Christmas.
Yeah.
I know this because Heather's sister Meg celebrates that every year. They have one KFC that they know of in San Francisco, and they go drive there every year. And they always have these little specials because all the Japanese show up because KFC, man. It's like, we get Chinese on Christmas Eve, and the Japanese get KFC on Christmas Day.
I guess it makes sense. Reason. Yeah. So they open up. I guess they didn't have their drive-through before, or it just seemed extra special.
Yeah, so that's actually the point that this made me think about this because we've been talking about, what is Sweden doing versus the Netherlands, what is Kentucky doing versus wherever.
Right.
And I've been on a couple of conference calls in the last few days doing secret, super important business stuff to, save our asses. And it's been interesting comparing notes to people who live in other parts of the country because, like, for example, some states actually are like locked down, which is nuts. Like, I think it's like New Jersey. If they see you out, will fine you $300 or something like that.
Oh, really?
And I hadn't thought about that because they were asking about how it is in Kentucky. And I was like, well, we're not exactly locked down. They said stay at home. So we technically have a stay at home order, but there's no enforcement.
No, there's traffic out. I mean, there's people are going about. It's depressing when you go in a store. It's not fun.
Yeah. But also it's not super crowded. Like people are paying attention. Nobody's really going anywhere.
Right.
So they didn't pass any laws. Like today, for example, I had to go over to Total Wine because I drank my last bag of wine last night on the show.
Absolutely.
And can't do a show.
Did they have bags waiting for you?
You'd think so, but they didn't. I actually had to go to the back of the store and get them where they hide the box of wine because they want you to do the walk of shame all the way past all of the good stuff to get to the junk.
Absolutely.
And you have to carry it back by everybody on the way out. Yeah, I like that setup. It's really cool. But I went out there today to get it. And I mean, there were a bunch of people there, but by and large, it was like everybody's standing 6 feet apart. Everybody's wearing a mask. Yep. And we never passed any laws in Kentucky forcing people to do it. They're just doing it.
Right. It is. I kind of like the balance that has been here. For the most part, it is. And I think it's actually going to help us later on is because people will just do these things because they think it's a good thing to do. Right. Not that they have to be told. Like a kid.
Exactly. So what I thought about this article in particular is that so I realized that there are a couple other states that I think don't have drive-through stuff. I don't know, but anyway, the entire country of England apparently didn't have drive-through up until today or yesterday, based on this article, and they went absolutely nuts. And I was like, that's interesting because everybody's kind of taking it different. I mean, technically, I need to go back and do a straight-up comparison, but I think the regulations that Kentucky passed are just below what Sweden did. The only thing Sweden didn't do was close schools for small children. And I think that qualifies as daycare. We did close the daycares. Yeah.
Anything like that.
Yeah. So it's not like they're doing nothing. It's just interesting watching this sort of being kicked around in the media by people that are and they're not intentionally misconstruing it. They're just busy and they're not paying attention. And everybody thinks that the place they live is doing what everybody else is doing. Anyway, That's the point.
And we have a great positive story coming out of the England. Captain Tom promoted to colonel on 100th birthday in flood of cards. That is awesome.
I could have sworn this guy was a major, but apparently he's a captain.
Why did he not get knighted? Shouldn't he be knighted at this point?
I think so. I think if he can make it that long, they're going to do it. So this is the guy who
he's in great
raised
shape.
money for the NHS, and we forgot what he did yesterday. He walked around in his backyard a lot. I can't remember what it was.
Right,
He did laps or something.
But it was like this simple thing, and plus it was a super old dude doing it. It was much better than a celebrity telling me what they're doing.
Exactly. This is way better. Like instead of saying stick with it, he started raising money for the National Health Service, ended up raising over 30 million pounds. And we talked about him yesterday because the WWE gave him his own personal championship belt, which I think weighs more than he does based on the size of that thing.
Gosh, he looks awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, today's his birthday. He turned 100. And that's kind of the reason why he was doing it. And he got a promotion, and he's now a colonel.
Man, you gave me the tingles.
Yeah, it's super cool. So good for that guy. There's a photo down in the middle. Did you see that where they've been, I don't know, this has got to be a lot of work, but they took the 125,000 birthday cards that he got.
Oh,
they put them all together in a gym at the school. And
that's insane. You know what it looks like?
I didn't check it out, but the plan was they're going to take him over there and show it to him and I guess make him cry or something.
It looks like she's setting up a dominoes setup in a gym.
That's what they had to do. That'll let him like run through there and knock all that shit over. That would be amazing.
That would be awesome. This photo looks like he's trying to go somewhere he's not allowed to go.
Yeah.
And this guy's about to lay a beat down on him.
He looks like he's about ready to beat that guy with that thing.
Right. And I like that he's also in the grass. Why don't you let him get on the path here, dude? He's out in the grass. He's 100. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an awesome story. Well, that's my favorite so far.
Yeah, he got a promotion. He's a colonel now. That's great, but it screws up the song. But whatever.
Ice cream truck inspired beer van is roaming Chicago.
So I like the way they said roaming, because that's like it's like creeping up behind people. You know, it's like, here comes the beer van. Do you want beer? Do you want beer now?
To be fair, that is a creepy van. They definitely went out of their way to find a creeper van.
Yeah, like that's one of those van down by the river van specials right there. That's you convert those things into houses.
Want beer right now? Do they play music? Because can you imagine you and I on the same block and running out and asking our wives if they have money?
Yeah, that would be amazing. So I don't know.
Be incredible.
I have heard, but I don't have any direct evidence of it that is going on in Nashville. And it's definitely going on in Chicago. But what's interesting about this is in Nashville, it's just a couple guys with a van. In Chicago, it's the actual breweries themselves are like, well, we got all this beer we got to sell, so let's start rolling trucks, I guess.
I love it, but that did give me the idea. How cool would it be if you found West 6th? They've got their van, but they turned it into one that just drove around neighborhoods in the summer when it's like hot. They pull up to a pool.
They ring the bell.
Yeah, they ring the bell, but maybe the bell is like, I don't know, Metallica or something like that. Maybe that would do it. Anyway.
Yeah, I wonder if it gets warmer if we're going to see the pedal beer guy, whatever that thing's called.
Oh, what is that?
It's the one where you like all those, it's the modified bicycle thing or whatever. Everybody gets on and you pedal while you're drunk.
That's where all the ladies go on their,
seems very popular. Parties. I mean, my thing is like, I want to make sure people are going to carry me because I'm lazy and I'm going to.
Yeah. Why are you working? Seems like too much work.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want your news summarized? That's what we're doing. The NASA chopper set to be first aircraft to fly on Mars now has a name, thanks to a 17-year-old girl.
So I saw this fly by because Bobak Fidowski, who I think is a Farker based on the fact that he follows me on Twitter for no reason. And I run into him every year. And this also might be the reason he follows me on Twitter. He does Beer with Stone also every year. He's also known as the Mohawk guy from NASA.
Yes.
Usually has a mohawk. He hasn't had a mohawk in a while. But anyway, I think he's involved in this mission. And I wanted to say he's in charge of it. And I'm going to say he is because I would rather not be wrong the other direction and say, I don't know, I think he just sweeps the floors there and then find out it's like calling your nurse, like your doctor a nurse, it's like, so we'll just say, so he's in charge of NASA.
Very high up. Very high up.
And I think maybe this mission, I'm not sure, but I didn't know this up until yesterday, but they're not only sending a Volkswagen sized rover, I didn't know that. They're sending a helicopter. And they had a contest to name it, and they did not go with McHelicopter face. They went with Ingenuity, which is lame, but
come on, I like that name. I like that. It definitely sounds like a NASA name.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Like
lame, but
they got so excited when they saw it.
There's a video in a NASA tweet there.
Oh, right here.
Might play video of the helicopter. That thing looks like the Havoc heli kit that Storm got for Christmas 10 years ago.
It does.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same design because why would you re-engineer?
Very basic, but that double blade.
Yeah, that's what the toys
Engineering
do.
represents the most remarkable things that humanity is capable of.
Is this a
These
commercial?
achievements are not just the
Or
product of
her?
pure determination. They're a combination of human perseverance and ingenuity.
Boy, this is definitely
Hi,
something like
Felisa.
25 people in
My
NASA are
name
like,
is
okay, here's a
Mia.
script for you, kid.
I work
Yep.
at NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory.
Show us the damn helicopter.
JPL, and my job there is project manager for Mars helicopter.
Ooh,
Mars
that's
helicopter
awesome.
Is a technology
Yeah, now we're
demonstration
talking.
flight experiment.
Yeah, yeah.
that,
Sweet.
Mars 2020 Perseverance rover is hosting, and we're going for the attempt at flying the first ever flight on another planet.
That'll give me tingles when you see
Yeah,
that
yeah.
video.
I've been really excited about this phone call to talk to you.
What'll suck is if it gets 10 feet
I'm
off the
getting
ground and then it
to
crashes
share
right
with
back
you the
down again. We're
news
like, damn it, there goes the
that
helicopter.
your
I hope they sent
proposal
five.
has been chosen as the name
Well, they
for
have to
Mars
send
helicopter.
multiple units,
that's
don't you
amazing.
think?
Well, they can send one big
On
Volkswagen, and then I'm saying
behalf of
5
our
helicopters because
entire
those seem
Mars
smaller.
helicopter
Wow.
team, I'll
That way you
let
can burn
praise
one. You know, it's like, oh, damn it, he leaned too hard on the lever. We got to launch another one then. We got a second one.
That was very cool. That was
Yeah.
very cool. How good for her. She didn't seem too thrilled or she felt nervous. But I don't know what you're supposed to be.
Yeah,
but,
I don't know either. Yeah. Plus, it's probably got, like I said, 25 people in NASA telling her to do
She's
stuff,
like,
but-
maybe she's feels bad because she cheated in some way, and she knows that she shouldn't have won this.
Yeah, well, that'll
like
be
that
the
kind of
follow-up made-for-TV movie on Lifetime if they ever get around to recreating that. I can't wait to watch it.
I like that. Gargantuan hail in Argentina may have smashed world record. That
So-
looks evil.
Yeah, pretty
Oh, I'm
much.
not
So
on it yet. Here
normally,
we are.
when I see people misusing quotes, like notice how in that headline the word gargantuan has quotes around it. There's a lot of dumbasses in the world that don't understand that if you put quotes around something, it means not. However, journalists are pretty good with the whole grammar and punctuation thing. Turns out in this case, there's 2 stories here. One is, holy crap, look at the size of that hailstone. It's as big as a volleyball. That's one story.
Man.
The other story is apparently this is turned up often enough to where they're thinking about creating a new classification of hail because apparently it's really boring in the world of meteorology. And this is what they sit around and talk about. And so they pulled out the word gargantuan for anything that comes in around that big, as was reported in the Bulletin of the American Meteorological Society, which has got to be a riveting publication if I've ever heard one.
Oh yeah. That looks evil. That
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? You're definitely dead. That
Oh my
hit
God,
you.
dude. Yeah, that'd go right through your roof,
Holy
probably,
cow.
wouldn't it? I mean, holy crap.
So in Argentina a few years ago, one thing I would have loved was to see the damage this sucker caused.
Oh,
like
man.
you're talking like trees obliterated, roofs.
Surprised there's
all
not
of that.
blood on the outside of it because, man, you get hit by that thing, it's over, man. Forget it.
That would be not cool.
But I say the reason we know about this is because whoever that fell near went and immediately threw it in the freezer. Because I'd do that. I'd be like, oh my God,
yeah.
somebody else needs to see this.
Yeah, for sure. In fact, I think I have done that back at times as a kid when it would hail. You'd go out and you'd make the snowball. The idea was to throw that at somebody later.
Yeah. Well, the last time it hailed here pretty big, they were about diamond quarter sized. My kids filled the freezer. But I didn't know they'd done it. I opened the freezer the next day and I'm like, huh. So anyway, I hope it's mostly pollution free because I use that as ice cubes for 6 months. So I'm still alive. Seems to be working out.
That's a good move.
Yeah.
U.S. Patent Office rules that artificial intelligence cannot be a legal inventor.
So this is a headline you might see and totally skim over. I'll explain why this is interesting in the next article, but this is sort of interesting in the first article because here's why. So when I was working on the book with Adam that got indefinitely postponed, we were talking about how they have 3D printers that what they do is they will 3D print a part on a plane that's normally made of metal, and they will then tell the computer to adjust it and make it weigh 1/100th of the weight. And so it does this by putting a lattice structure on the inside. The long and the short of it is, who invented that design? Because that doesn't look like anything that a human came up with, and it isn't. So one of the open questions is can you protect intellectual property designed by computers? And the U.S. Patent Office this week ruled, no, you cannot. That has some profound implications because there are tons of designs being made by AI. But here's the reason why they ruled by this. Jump to the next article.
All right, here we go. Jumping over.
This is from 3 years ago.
Monkey selfie lawsuit ends with settlement.
So we've all seen this picture, right? I love this photo, by the way.
It's fantastic.
Isn't that great? So
One
the
in a
monkey took
million.
that photo.
1 in a million.
Yeah.
Or more,
So
I
the
guess
guy
more.
left his camera out in the field, and the monkey picked it up and took his picture. And then, long story short, because just take my word for it, PETA decided to sue on behalf of the monkey, saying that the monkey's intellectual property rights were violated because he took the photo. The idea was to get a court to rule that the monkey owns the photo of the intellectual property, therefore is a sentient being, therefore zoos can't keep monkeys. And I know it's.
Did they rule that they didn't have standing? Because that's what I would think initially. Is like,
well, they just said that the monkeys aren't people. But what happened was is that the minute they established that only people can invent stuff, then you get a ruling what we had today, which is artificial intelligence and monkeys can't invent stuff or own things. So it's like, well, okay, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but AIs can't design things because monkeys can't take photographs. That's real.
Couldn't you then AI invents it? It's my company, and then I just put the patent application for myself rather than.
That's what I do. So I actually contacted an actual patent attorney. It's actually Fark's patent attorney, and I asked him. I was like, okay, so who owns it? And he goes, it's undetermined at this point, because the thing is that what the patent office said is that AIs can't invent it, and if you didn't invent it, you don't have an ownership stake. Now, I understand for all the legal attorneys out there that there's always everything in law is always, well, that's not quite true because blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I know. Whatever. Right. Anyway, it's as of right now, the way it stands, until there's another precedent set, it is unclear who owns things created by monkeys or AI.
So, yeah, but I think it would be like you'd show up to the patent office.
You could just say, like, I made this. And they don't.
Right. They'd say, you'd say, my AI made this. And they'd say, who made it, sir? My AI. Exactly. I think who made it? Oh, it was me. It's me, dude.
Yeah, and it wasn't a monkey, right? No.
Definitely not this monkey right here that looks awesome.
I love that photo.
He is cool. All right. Wait, that must be an ad. Blind City. Digest. Secretariat favored in simulated Kentucky Derby of Triple Crown winners. I saw something about this today on the Twitters and wasn't sure what it was talking about.
Yeah, so I've lost all track of time. And honestly, the Derby, Kentucky Derby, even though I live in Kentucky, it always sneaks up on me because, basically like usually like Thursday, like today, everybody's like, oh, what are you doing for the Derby? And I'm like, oh, crap, that's this weekend. I totally forgot. Not this year. They kicked it into September, mostly because I think they're definitely going to hold one whenever they can because it's the longest continuously held sporting event in the United States. And that's a record you want to hang on to, I figure.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, especially when it takes like 150 years to set it. It's like, yeah, we might want to keep going on this. So anyway, in order to pass the time, though, Churchill Downs is doing a virtual edition. They have scanned these stats into a simulation, much like the iRacing for NASCAR. And they're going to have all of the top 13 horses of all time race each other. But
like Man of War?
Yeah, Secretariat's in there. I don't actually know who Man of War ought to be in there.
Man of War should, because we have a road named after him.
I didn't see the entire field. Maybe somebody in our comment section can Google this.
Let's see if I type in the war here.
So lame. But anyway, here's the deal, though. So the article, and this is a horse racing joke, honestly, is that it says currently Secretariat is the favorite at 7-2. So horse racing is really interesting. Unlike human sports where times keep on dropping every decade, it's not happening in horse racing.
No, not since they've stopped injecting them with meth.
Yeah, well, they still, that's a longer story. Anyway, correct. However, it does make it less fun that there's no meth being injected to the horses. But Secretariat has the all-time record, and it was a blowout. Like nobody close to this guy. Nobody's ever run that fast before or since. And so I don't know how they're going to simulate this unless, Secretariat falls on its face right out of the gate. He wins. Like there's no way around it.
Yeah, you got to throw in a lot of factors. It'll be interesting. I'd love to see it. Is this something you can bet on?
Yeah, because they're giving odds. I don't know where you bet on. I assume if you go to Churchill Downs' website, they will be glad to point you in the direction of that because that's literally how they make all their money.
We should be able to do it through our local Keeneland. Yeah, if you have the Keeneland app. Have you been in town? Have you been down to Old Frankfort Pike and seen the Secretariat statue that's up there?
Where is it on? Is it? It's on that roundabout.
Yeah,
right?
It's on the roundabout.
Yeah. So I've seen it, but we have so many damn horse statues in this town. I don't pay too much
This
attention.
one's huge. It is amazing. It makes you think, what are they building out here? And all you see is horse fields, but that thing is awesome. If you come to Lexington, that's a good one to see.
It's worth checking out.
All right, we've got from the AP Turtle Recall, Derby Dash, Turtles going slow, steady race.
Man, and Turtle Recall, that is such a news outlet pun. That sucks, man. Turtle Recall has nothing to do with horse racing or turtles. That's just garbage. Anyway,
it's making me giggle.
But so this article is also very strange. I mean, it doesn't parse very well. So, for example, reading it, it says, okay, so clearly, well, actually, look, there's a pun in the first sentence. Losing the Kentucky Derby has less race fans shell shocked. Oh God, that's great. Anyway, they're calling this the slowest 8 minutes in sports. Now that I like, that's a good one. Because the Kentucky Derby is the fastest. Well, I can't even remember now because I've been drinking too much wine. But anyway, fastest 2 minutes in sports or something. Anyway, this article is confusing because they start off by citing a article from the Courier Journal in 1945, where apparently they raced 167 turtles. That's a lot of damn turtles.
Oh my goodness!
Like, why don't I get 12? But anyway, they did them in 8 heats. They raced them, and so I'm reading this and I'm thinking, oh, have we been doing this every year? Like, I've never heard of this before. And the answer is no, we have not. And not only have we not been doing it every year, but we're not doing it this year. They're doing it in freaking Ohio or something like that, and they're taping it. Oh, there you go, Chicago. And it's pre-recorded. And then, anyway, I don't understand any part of this article other than, but it's turtles.
It almost sounds like the Puppy Bowl.
Yeah, but turtles. But here's the problem. But with
turtles. Now, here's what throws me off is like Old Forester. They're calling it the Kentucky Turtle Derby, which sounds great, but they're doing it in Ohio. That's
no, it's Illinois, Chicago, and then they're pre-taping it. It's not even live.
Whatever. That's bull.
Yeah, exactly. So this is garbage. But anyway, I would want to point that out because it's like just I had such high hopes for this article, and it's just crap.
Bucks Rob Gronkowski says playbook comment made in jest. I didn't hear this comment that he made.
Yeah, so I didn't catch it until this is the article where he apologized for saying, or actually he said it was a joke. But it's Gronkowski, so who knows? Because you know how he is.
Love that guy.
He's not a sharp guy. Gronkowski said he implied or said straight up that he got a copy of the Tampa Bay playbook before he signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that made everybody mad for some reason. I guess it's because there's nothing to worry about in sports. And so, you have to have your sports outrage. And he went on and he said, and assuming this is true, and I believe it probably is, he says, I can't believe we're talking, but this is seriously a story.
Right.
Well, that's what happens, man. Nothing's going on other than you and Tom Brady breaking into random houses in Tampa Bay.
Right. I think they said, hey, Gronk, what are you going to do for us marketing-wise? And he's like, I got some great ideas. First of all, we're going to send Tom to the wrong house. We're going to send him out here. We're going to do all. I swear it's all a marketing plan. This is part of it, and this is the reason he's saying seriously. We're talking about this. He's like, this is the lamest idea we thought up of the whole
so
bunch.
Much better than this. This is the one you guys picked up.
You can't even.
And we covered the article yesterday where they said Tom Brady is turning into Florida man. Boy, are they! I mean, Gronkowski, honestly, like I don't know where he's from, but. Man, he fits right in Florida way better than Tom does. I mean, holy crap.
Absolutely.
They just need to be a third guy. We need 3. We need a trifecta. Like, is there anybody on Tampa Bay that we've even heard of?
No, but I think somebody's got to emerge. Somebody's got to come up.
Yeah.
But I'm loving it. I'm so excited for football. This is going to be great.
I just want them to keep breaking into people's houses by accident because that's a reality show. Speaking of which.
Fan pays $800,000 for Tom Brady's all-in experience. Huh?
So if you live in Tampa Bay and you can't wait for Tom Brady to show up and break into your house, apparently they were auctioning off a hangout with Tom Brady before and after his first game as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
You know what?
Some moron paid $800,000 for that. And I don't know why, but they did.
I can see that. I can see somebody paying for that. If you got the cash, sounds fun.
I suppose.
Then you're like, I'm bros with Tom.
I would be a little worried about that. I mean, granted, Tom Brady's kind of, not the sharpest tool in the shed either. I mean, he's an amazing football player, but I hate him. Who is this guy that paid the $800,000 and what are they going to talk about?
Because this guy right here
whoever spent that has an entire room in his house with Tom Brady photos and thumbtacks and string going back and forth between them that somehow explains that Tom Brady's an alien.
He absolutely is. Look how young that guy looks. Yeah, he's not, what's his name who played for Indianapolis, the quarterback?
Andrew Luck.
No, before
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning. So Peyton Manning is, I hear he's a dick, but he's also a great marketing guy. Like he can speak. He's so good at it. Tom Brady's not that. Tom Brady's not going to get a booth job after he's done.
No, not at all.
Bengals release quarterback Andy Dalton after 9 seasons.
So I really brought this up because it's a forced trifecta, but we live in Kentucky and we're supposed to root for Cincinnati. And I find it hard to do because their ownership sucks. But we were speculating before the draft last week because Cincinnati had the number 1 pick and there's a really good quarterback coming out of LSU. But we were trying to figure out, would they actually do the obvious thing and recruit the really good quarterback, or would they screw it up somehow?
Yeah.
Well, they didn't. They recruited the really good quarterback, and well, they had this other guy. And they're like, hey, you know what, man? You want to ride the bench for, they didn't even say that. They just let him go because
it would have been that awkward thing. It'd be like me saying, hey, should we get a divorce? She's coming in for a little while.
You guys can live together in the
We're
same
going
house
to ease into this thing. That's what we're going to do. I did feel, did you see, what's his name? The new quarterback. Did you see him tweet?
No, but he's funny.
I
should probably start following him.
He is, but it was like a little cold. He was like,
oh, yeah.
Thanks, Andy. I'll take it from here.
Oh, yeah. Well, so that guy's 22.
That was pretty cold.
Yeah.
Cold.
It's like, oh, well, the problem is he probably is way better than Andy Dalton. That's the other issue. So.
Britney Spears says she accidentally burned down her home gym. Oops.
That's all I got, man. I don't know how you accidentally burned down a home gym. I feel like maybe it involves a lot of alcohol and some frustration.
That's a lot of work on the hair before you actually work out.
Yeah, I don't think he was working out. I mean, who knows, honestly. I mean, at least she wasn't shaving her head again. But yeah, she said she accidentally burned it. She says she hasn't been in her gym for 6 months because she burned it down. And I don't know whether or not that implies she burned it down yesterday or 6 months ago.
I don't know, but yeah. You know,
anyway, that's all
I could recreate that photo. It's
going
to cause some trauma to some people, but I could recreate it.
Yeah.
Hero teacher takes on caring for student's newborn baby brother after the rest of the family are struck down with coronavirus.
So this is actually a cool article that's not very well written, but I can break it down for you.
Yeah.
So 32-year-old teacher who has no kids of her own is an elementary school teacher, and one of her kids, who's a 7-year-old in the class, got a call from the mother of that student saying that the mother, had tested positive for coronavirus and was going into labor. And the problem is that it turned out they had put her down as the emergency contact because they are Guatemalan asylum seekers and didn't know anybody else in the entire United States other than her. So she was going to apologize, A, for putting her down as the emergency contact, and B, wondering whether or not she could take custody of the baby.
So first of all, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, can you imagine getting that call?
Second of all,
what?
Oh my gosh.
So it turns out this woman is the most saintly woman who's walked the planet since Mother Teresa, because she said, yeah, I'll take the baby. And then she took the baby, and then the husband and the kid in her class also came down positive with coronavirus. And so this happened on April 4th. And she's basically been caring for the newborn at home while they're waiting for everybody to test negative.
Wow. That's pretty cool. Also, that kid has awesome hair.
Oh, yeah.
You come out with that level of hair. You know, this is kind of like that story that I really enjoyed where the woman sent out the text inviting everyone over for Thanksgiving. And she sent it to that kid this is a white woman. This black kid gets it, and he starts, you must have meant this to the wrong place. And they've been like going to Thanksgiving for the past, I don't know, 7 years, 10 years, whatever.
Did you hear the dark redux on that, though?
No, what is it?
She died of coronavirus. I know. It's like,
Wait, really?
Yeah,
she did?
Really? It came through about a month ago. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I was like, damn it. Yeah. But he became part of their family, basically.
Oh, absolutely. Cool. And that's the things I love. I mean, that's like you say, that's a humanity story. That's the positive. That's the good. That's what we love.
Yeah.
Here we go. Dog in Australia gives birth to litter of 21 puppies, breaking current record. I did not know there was a record kept for this.
Well, there has to be, because I mean, when you get close, you'd be like, you'd check. Like if you had 21 puppies, you'd be like, okay, I don't know what the record is, but I got to look it up because I feel like we're close. It turns out the record was 19. Now, 3 of them didn't make it, unfortunately, but that's a lot of freaking
But you
puppies.
still count them.
So what happened is that there's still 18 left, which is too many. I'm not saying they should die. I'm just saying that's still a lot of puppies. But what happened is that the dog was giving birth at home, had 3 puppies, and then stopped. And so after 4 hours of activity, and they could tell there were more in there because I guess the dog was huge by this point, they decided to call the vet. So they took her in there. They called in more vets in order to assist because I guess puppies kept showing up.
They're
and
like,
eventually,
you gotta
they
see
ended up
this,
being 21
Todd.
total.
Todd, you gotta get down here.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, you gotta see this, man. And there's a few pictures there. There's no video, but it's just, here's a box of puppies. They're cleaning them up, and
they had this slight video of it breathing for a few seconds, but it didn't kick in. But that's
okay.
Very cute, very cute.
But 18 of them made it, and I don't know how many nipples dogs have, but I hope it's 18.
Oh my gosh! Seeing the dog's feet on her would be like the times you've seen a pig with all the little piglets running around the pig.
Yeah. Oh man, that's gonna be chaotic.
Wishing for
in about
death.
6 weeks.
Oh. Hey, otter Sakura, who likes talking.
Yep, that's it. Just go and play it. It's an otter that likes to talk.
Do you want to feel emotional?
It's got a little background music.
Well, I mean, there we go.
Oh, is that freaking,
yeah.
If you don't pay money to our video game company, your character's going to die a sad, lonely death. That's what this is. There we go. Anyway, otters.
I like the music with it.
Yeah, it's Japan, so all the music in Japan is played off of Casio keyboards. I don't know if you knew that.
Is that they own this thing? It just sits in their house?
Yeah, and it talks all the time when it eats, apparently. That's what's going on here. You can hear in the background.
I know they're saying talks, but I'm thinking that might be begging noises, and it might make me crazy after a while. Otters,
one of my kids does that when it
begging.
eats. He just goes, oh, no, 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 no. And apparently otters do it, too. I didn't realize it cross species.
No. I'm no otter specialist. This otter looks a little on the thick side.
Well, yeah, because they feed it food all the time, so it talks. Kind of reminds me of Beaker from the Muppets. I mean, it doesn't look like Beaker, but it sounds like it.
It is like that. It's very cute.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I have closing music with that.
Yeah.
I'll play my own music. Let's see. Where are we at? Oh, here we are.
And now it's a dance party.
I like that we had that video right there.
Yeah.
And we have a squirrel. Now, this squirrel is not a dead squirrel.
I mean, as far as we know.
Well, it's probably dead now. How long can they live?
Yeah.
But it was, according to the Fark Photoshop contest, it was flying. It was flying.
Okay, maybe.
Did I take that screenshot so I gotta...
Is it flying upside down?
I gotta
submit. Weird.
Well, it was flying the other way, and I thought I'd lay it this way. It felt better.
Okay, that's perfect.
Better alignment this way.
Yeah.
And that's the news.
Yeah, that's all of it. That's literally everything that's worth hearing and some stuff that isn't.
I liked it. It was positive. You know, on the opposite, we could run through Drudge Report headlines and just jump off a bridge afterwards.
Yeah, that's a whole different show, though. It's called Let's Watch Drudge and Jump Off a Bridge.
Will the world be here tomorrow? Likely not.
Probably not. We're all going to die a horrible death. Tune in tomorrow. Yeah, which honestly is how the regular news has been going. I've been hearing from friends of mine that like this that we're doing because they're like, at least it's upbeat. I'm like, well, you know, the subject matter kind of isn't, but we try to make it upbeat whenever possible.
Well,
because,
yeah.
Why the hell not?
And you can absolutely do that. It is how you ingest it, how you take it in. Because I look out my window and I'm like, it's a rainy day. It smells wonderful outside, though. There's still good things. There's still going to be a future. It's still happening.
I went to Total Wine. I've completely restocked on box wine. It's going to last me 3 days probably.
You know,
this is going.
You know what? If I had money, just screw around money, like all that, I would do like stupid things just that sounded funny but were really expensive to do. I would build a giant mansion of a house, and in the wine room, it would just be a box wine room.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
It would that's all it would be. And I'd have all these special boxes from around the world. The best box wine in the world.
There you go.
Do
they sell box wine in Europe?
Yes, they do. Yes. When I went to France, they had it. They actually sold it in, they had boxes. Definitely. That threw me off.
Oh, cool.
So it's very cool. Well, what do you got going on tonight?
The same thing I do every night, drink heavily. I think I'm supposed to watch Star Trek Picard with my wife, but I don't know. She keeps on asking me why I haven't watched it with her yet. And I'm like, well, she's been going through all 7 seasons of Buffy the Vampire Slayer with our daughter.
Oh.
Which is okay, but I can't watch like 20 episodes a night like they can. They've been binge watching it.
Yeah, you got your limits.
Yeah. Oh, we got a question about the Friday night movie. So we found out something interesting. Dallin's done more research than I am. So What did you find out about this, Don?
So I found out that on Twitch you can have a watch party through Amazon. So a lot of people, most people have an Amazon account, and you can play movies, a list of movies that you can play on here. The thing I need to figure out, which I think I did figure out, is we can't do this stuff like throwing a squirrel on here. It just takes your webcam. But I think I did found a tool by using another tool. We can get us into the top corner. So it wouldn't be over the image right here in this center section. The movie would just play in the screen, and then we would be over the chat and talking, which is fine. And it throws on an interesting movie. So I'm up for a try.
Yeah, we got to see what's on there right now, because I think I watched, for a while there on Amazon Prime, and this was maybe a couple of years ago, they had every bad science fiction movie. Like Soylent Green and Planet of the Apes. And,
Soylent Green's been a long time, and I love that one.
THX was on there, and what else was on there? Westworld.
Yep, Westworld.
And the sequel to Westworld. I don't mean like the HBO one. I mean the original really crappy
one.
For some reason, every sci-fi movie in the 70s ended with people chasing each other for 15 minutes and then escaping wherever they were and then roll credits. That was literally it. All of them. They all end like that.
I like the idea of a 70s sci-fi. That sounds kind of fun.
They're pretty terrible, but they're fun.
They're enjoyable. And what do you want, a good show that you're just going to all sit there and be like, wow, there's nothing to talk about. This storyline's really holding together.
Yeah.
We don't want that.
Oh, Mega Man would I confused it with Running Man there for a second. That would be good too.
Oh, Mega Man. Yeah, they got Westworld. Goon. Oh, Goon's great. Great hockey movie. I'm down with the hockey. Goon is great. The Ref Phase 4. Some great recommendations in here. Let's try it. It obviously won't be rolling on Facebook. It would just be a Twitch stream.
Yeah.
And I think I need to log in through your account so I can stream it here on my end. But it shouldn't be a problem. And but we'll play with it.
Yeah, I need to go through Prime and find out like what's available. But if anybody's got any suggestions, you can email me. You know my email already, and if you can't figure out what it is, that's the weed out. But I mean, literally, you can guess what it is. It's fairly straightforward. That
would be good. And then when you post it tomorrow on Fark, you can put what the movie will be, and we'll be there.
Get it to us early, because I wake up at 7 and I work, and my hangover ends at around 9 or 10.
Yeah.
And that's when I can start doing things that require brain power, and that's probably when we'll make the call.
Okay. Awesome. I am taking off today, but I have a couple podcasts to record, but we'll do a test. I'll try and test. So maybe you'll see a test stream pop up tomorrow as they do it. But we'll figure it out.
All right. Sounds good, man.
Great show, everyone. We shall see you some other time, which is most likely tomorrow, but I'm not making any promises.
Indeed.